How come no one told me about this side of Christianity? Right? Like the side that you would have to spend some time with God in constant wrestling, and not even just with wrestling with God, but with your own flesh, right? Like you come to God and some things naturally would just stop. Like you would just stop doing something. When I came to God, I stopped drinking, stopped smoking. Like things just naturally stopped in my life, like because I love the Lord so much. But how come no one told me the other side of the other things that you would have to remain and tarry with God in constant prayer and deliberate pursuit of Him? Because the truth also is this: if every single sin or every single problem wrong with you fell at the initial instance of your conversion, why would you need God daily, right? Then there's that mind that we got to constantly renew, right? We got to come to Him every day and say, you know what? I'm helpless. Like, I am helpless. I'm helpless. This is the side of Christianity. This is the side of walking with God. That just because you're a pastor, just because you're a evangelist, or all these prophet and big titles people seem to ignore, that you will need God every single day till you die. And that's crazy. Because the truth is, we don't want to need God. I say that again. We don't want to need God. We would love to have God, but nobody wants to be put in the vulnerable situation of having to need God every day, because that makes you vulnerable. That makes you needy. And being needy is not a comfortable place to be, right? So that is an acceptance that you got to come to. I'm not talking about presumption. I'm not talking about living in sin and just knowing, I'm talking about like those things that you just know, God, this way of thinking, this malice, this bitterness, this anger, this pride, you got to help me with these things, because I identify the problem, I see it, I don't have the power over it. Those ones, those are the ones you need God for, like daily fellowship, and you need patience. You need patience, because the more we behold God, the more we become like Him. And you got to be patient with yourself too, because God, I feel like He is not throwing you to the corner because you got an anger issue, or you got a pride issue, you got this way of thinking that is not right. You just got bitterness. He's not going to just throw you to the curb, because He knows, and I think one of the best characteristics of God that I like the most is that He's a righteous judge. He don't judge things like people, right? So just make sure, for those who are in the Lord years and years, and you're just like, you know what, I think this is going to remain. I don't know, I'm helpless. There is help in God. And I assure you, the more you behold Him, the more you stay with Him, the more you tarry in His presence, the more you don't neglect the fellowship and assembling of the brethren, the more He will show up. The more you behold Him, the more He will behold you, and the more your countenance will be more and more like that of Christ Jesus. You will be like Him as you continue to see Him.